I cannot seem to catch a break, huh? Damn, dude. Oh, hang on. Every time I turn around, something's happening. Alright, how's my audio? Check, check. Is it too messed up? Every time I turn around, something's happening. Why does my audio sound so bad? Alright, how's my audio? What the fuck? My audio sounds terrible for some reason. Why is that? How's my audio? What the fuck? Yo, what the fuck? My audio sounds terrible for some reason. Why this is insane. I don't know. This is I do not have the energy to deal with that. Whatever. I don't even remember what I was talking about. Why? That actually really frustrates me. Why is my audio so bad? It's a very expensive mic. Yeah, so my internet has not cut out once for probably weeks. And when I go live, I make it 7 minutes, and my internet cuts out randomly. It's out for a solid 60 seconds, maybe 2 minutes, just long enough to make sure I can't reconnect and have to start a new stream. It's little things, right? It's little things. Like big things are more comparable, but little things. Akbar fan, what's up, man? What we doing tonight? Well, my plan was just to hang out, but maybe we'll play some games or something. Is it raining and stormy? No, it could not be sunnier outside. I'm not even sure there's clouds outside. Bright. No idea why something like that would even happen. I've been playing around with this idea of streaming Game Boy games. I have a list. Have that happen too, but I don't. That doesn't really normally happen for me. It just decided to, just to fuck with me. Hang on, I'm gonna... I was comprising a list. I was just going down every Game Boy Advance game to ever exist. And I was comprising a list. Let's go back and take a look at that. Because it's pretty funny. Man, Pennsylvania, it's raining and storming. Oh. If Flight of the Falcon is on that list, well, I don't know if you've seen it, Akbar fan, but I actually did a video on every Star Wars GBA game ever made. That game is fucking terrible. I think that I'm pretty sure that I have said on numerous occasions that Flight of the Falcon is the worst Star Wars video game ever made. It is so bad. Like, of the games I played in that video, that is the only one where I remember thinking, there's nothing redeeming about this game. No one should play this. Star Wars Flight of the Falcon, it's awful. I did a video on it already, guys. I did a video on every Star Wars game for the GBA. No. I'm looking at different stuff. I am trying to make a list, because what I want to do is I want to make a list of Dragon Ball Z not Dragon Ball Z. I'm looking at a Dragon Ball Z game, which is why I said that. I want to make a list of GBA games, and then put them in a randomizer and spin it, and just play whatever it lands on. So we might do that tonight, just so I can have a little bit of fun. Clone Wars Republic Heroes is better than Flight of the Falcon. Fortunately, I'm a little ways away from having to play that one. Yeah, that... I've never played Republic Heroes, but it doesn't look like something I would like. I should do the Super Star Wars Trilogy for Super Nintendo. Those games were awesome. I'm kind of scared of those games, though. I've had a couple of people say I should do those, but we'll see. I've thought about it. I'm not sure how good that video would do, though. Good morning, welcome back. Michael, what's up, man? Welcome, welcome. I appreciate you tuning in. I also appreciate you emailing me when all that was going down, man. You're a real one. Republicans Heroes was all right, at least to me. Something tells me it wasn't called Republican Heroes. That'd be really funny, though. Star Wars Republican Heroes. No, so there's some games that I can't do videos on, at least not right now, because I just know that they would not be successful. So I have to, even ones that I want to do, I have to just not do them. Like, I was actually planning to do a video on Advent Rising, one of the best games I've ever played, probably one of my favorite video games of all time now, and I had to just shelf it because my channel is not doing good enough to warrant a risky video like that. Groovy McCrout, really enjoyed your Killzone videos. Killzone 2 will always hold a special place in my heart. Well, first off, thank you for saying that. I worked hard on those Killzone videos, and they didn't do as well as some of my other ones, but I appreciate that. Yeah, Killzone 2 is fire. It's wonky to play, but it is fire. Republic Commando video? No, I have not done a Republic Commando video yet because that's one I want to be able to kind of take my time with and really elaborate it out. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this, but what I've really been planning on doing is some of these games like Republic Commando and Knights of the Old Republic, I'm trying to put it off until I can build up my YouTube memberships and my Patreon where I'm making several $100s per month on that, and I can afford to take a small hit in my ad revenue so I can take extra time and really do them the way they deserve. Some games I'm willing to release the video with not as much content and not as long as I would prefer it to be. So I'm doing that right now with The Lost Frontier. This video is going to clock in at just over 50 minutes long, I think. Whereas if I was doing it the way I wanted to, it would be like an hour and a half. But I can't because I have to make money. Otherwise, I can't pay my fucking rent. Advent Rising 2, shame it never got a trilogy. Dude, that game deserved a trilogy. That game is fire. Republic Commando is the reason why I wasted money on Xbox. I shouldn't have bought it and got a DS instead. Dude, Republic Commando is great. Oh, the Xbox is great. What are you talking about? That game is too good for me to cut any corners. I cannot cut. Maybe tiny corners, but I want a Republic Commando video to pop off. First-person cover shooting was something that I hadn't played before since Killzone 2 immersed me in a way most games don't. Yeah, Killzone 2 is next level. Evan from the heavens, how you doing, Prince? Sammy, what's up, man? It's been a while since I've seen you in a stream. Good to have you. Making it after my channel got hijacked, but we press on. We do press on. I'm looking at a list of these GBA games. Oh, I gotta add that one. Just woke up, chat stream, not gaming today, right? We might do some gaming. If I want to start the GBA randomizer tonight, we might do that. But you guys will be there for the test run of it. Couldn't play it on PC because my computer was a potato at the time. Really wanted to play it, so I got the Xbox when the 360 came out. Oh damn. Yeah, that's brutal. Because at that point, just get a 360. The Xbox had some fire games though. I'm going to start saving money for a gaming PC. Let's go. Yeah, that's the way to do it. Especially with all the games you can get on emulator. I got like 6 games on the Xbox, so like I said, looking back, maybe shouldn't have gotten it. But there's a lot of good games. Advent Rising, which I played for the first time this month, is so fucking good. There's another game, I can't emulate it appropriately, and it's only available on Xbox, but it's called Breakdown. I've only played some of it, but I really want to play that one too. I like your retrospectives on the Dark Forces and Jedi Knight games. Those are pretty amazing. Thank you, dude. Yeah, I put a lot of work into those as well. Those are some of my best performing videos too, so I'm glad people liked them. Kid's getting older and job is getting busier. Been crushing it as a sous chef lately, and I've been thinking of recording a day in the life of a chef. That sounds cool, dude. Yeah, you should look into something like that if you can fit it in your schedule. Oh, we gotta throw one of these on there. Yeah, you guys might be here for a test run of my GBA emulator evening. Just because I want to play GBA games and I can't make a video on it. So I'm probably just going to make it a live stream that I maybe do once a week. Only games I got was Halo 1, 2, Jedi Outcast, Cars, Don't Ask, that was pretty decent, RC, and KOTOR. Dude, it's worth it for KOTOR 2 alone. KOTOR 2, Republic Commando, Jedi Outcast, that's the cost of an Xbox right there. And Halo 1 and 2, brother, 2 of the greatest games ever made. I actually have an actual physical copy of Breakdown for the OG Xbox. Dude, that's sick. That game is pretty cool. I can't get it running on my PC, but I really wanted to do a video on it. Finally finished Jedi Survivor. Can't wait to see you smash that series out. I'm excited to do videos on those games, but those are probably a while away. these videos just take a lot of time. And I'm cutting corners as it is to get them out. It's looking like Uncharted is going to be my next major series, and I'm probably going to have to shelf Quake because it's those videos just aren't doing very well. So I might have to shelf Quake and try, because I feel like the Uncharted series is going to do good. So that might be what happens. Finally did KOTOR 2 with the restored stuff last year. So good. Dude, that game, even the based unfinished game is so good. When I originally played KOTOR, I had no idea how I managed to get to great at the end. Yeah, I played it when I was pretty young too. That one's a little funny. I went to a convention and saw Courtney Taylor, who voiced Juhani and Jack in Mass Effect, and Serena in Halo Wars, among other roles. That's pretty cool, man. Wow, and Juhani and Jack, she's a pretty good voice actor then. That's pretty cool. Fleshing out this this list. Some of these games I want to play. Some of them I don't want to play. So we'll see how it goes. Damn, there's a lot of Harry Potter games for the GBA. You just would not believe some of these GBA games. Here's a GBA game: High School Musical, Livin' the Dream. Some of these developers must have just been doing this to crank out a couple of games and get some money going. Is this just actually just a manga that was released for the GBA? Hopefully you don't land on a Pokemon game. We're going to be here for weeks. No, I'm not going to play the whole thing all the way through. I'm probably going to play it for 15 minutes and then turn it off. Like, decide if I want to play it more or turn it off. Okay, this is just an actual manga that you read on the GBA. That's insane. I didn't even know that was a thing. There's a Hobbit game for the GBA? I knew it was for the PS2. I didn't know it released on the GBA. That's kind of sick. Ah, fuck it. I'll throw it on there. I'm only picking games that look like at least moderately interesting to me. Like, I'm not going to pick... Like, I'm not putting The Incredibles on there. Well, no, that one I will put on there. That looks cool. Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban was good on GBA. Had the RPG stuff from Game Boy Color. Harry Potter games. I don't think I've ever played a Harry Potter game, period. I'm not a big Harry Potter guy. Incredible Hulk on the GBA. I gotta see what that looks like. Those Disney games sell. I sold my Disney Sports Football to a game shop. Got some serious bank back on those two alone. I'm sure they do sell. I just don't want to play them. I'm trying to find stuff that looks interesting and not end up playing. Like, I don't want to play some game where I'm just like a visual novel. I'm trying to avoid visual novels. Now, see, that's what I'm talking about. Jedi Power Battles on GBA. No, I'm not. Okay, so a kind of soft rule I have is if I think I might do a video on it or like slide it into a video, I'm not playing it. Or if I've covered it already. So like I did a video on the GBA Daredevil, so I'm not doing that. Jedi Power Battles I already played and covered, so I'm not going to do that. Actually were kind of interesting, I'll admit. Oh, the Disney games? Oh, excuse me, guys. I know Flandrew does a lot of Disney game stuff. Mario Kart Super Circuit, is that a GBA game? There are so many Game Boy Advance games, guys. You do not even know. Like, I'm cherry picking it, and I'm already getting a pretty major. Okay, so like for instance, the Castlevania games, none of those are going to be on this list because I might want to do some kind of coverage on them later. Third one in the series very much feels like an SNES original one at times. Oh, that's pretty cool. I know they ported a bunch of NES and SNES games to the GBA. Naruto games on the Game Boy Advance? I didn't know there were Naruto games. I'll see them on here if they're here. I see some of these games and it breaks my heart because I'm looking at them and I'm like, I know that thing made no money and that the developer probably, you know, poured hours into making it and got nothing out of it. Dude, that breaks my heart, man. That just sucks. We'll put the Legend of Spyro games on there because that's pretty cool. I've never played a Spyro game, and it would be funny if my first exposure was a GBA game. I've been waiting to see more of your Castlevania series. Yeah, so I'm just so fucking bogged down with this other stuff. Otherwise, you know, I would do more, but it's possible that I'll get to it soon. Does having playing games and structuring scripts and videos over then ever burn you out from playing games? Like, you got a game that'd be fire video, but the effort would burn you out? I think I understand your question, and it's probably a yes. There's such a delicate balance when deciding what game to do a video on. There's a lot that goes into it. First, I have to consider the two things that are always at odds are if I want to do a video on it and if I think a video on it would do well. Because you guys know this is my only source of income. I rely on a video doing well to be able to eat food. And it's not uncommon for me to be eating nothing but a can of tuna on a tortilla with some relish and barbecue sauce. Like, that is a real common staple meal for me because I don't make any money. And on that note, sign up for my YouTube memberships and Patreon. I'm kidding. But there's obviously a lot that goes into that. And, you know, I'm not going to make a video on something I just don't want to cover, period. That's not what I'm saying, because the video would suck because I don't want to make it. So any video I make, I probably, to a large degree, wanted to do a video on it, but it's more so that a lot of games that I want to do videos on, I can't, or at least it would be too risky. Like the Advent Rising video, I really want to do a video on Advent Rising because that's such an interesting game. But like, for instance, I did that video on the Manhunt games, and I was only able to do that because I was having a half-decent month financially, and I could afford to kind of take a risk. That video fucking bombed, dude. So that, you know, that sets me back. I can't really take a risky video after something like that. But up to a Rondo of Blood retrospective someday. That would be cool. Yeah, Rondo of Blood looks fun. I've never played it. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games on GBA. We're not doing any Pokemon because I might want to do a series on Pokemon games later. I enjoy hearing the background process, logistics of video game essays. It's hard, man. It's hard work. I'm actually thinking of just doing an additional style of video because right now I write out scripts and it's very tedious and intensive, and I love doing it. I have a degree in English. I love writing scripts. It's very fulfilling, but it takes a long time. So I'm actually thinking of doing a new style video for, like, if there's a game that I want to do a video on that I can't invest the time in, I will just write an outline and I'll just riff on camera for like an hour, or like 30 minutes to an hour, and I'll do that. Trying to get my Twitch channel off the ground, hopefully make some extra cash on the site. Yeah, man, good luck. Good luck to you. Advent Rising seems like a combination of Halo and Star Wars, Mass Effect 4, Mass Effect was the thing. It is. You're kind of on the money there. That's basically what it is. So besides Carmageddon, what's a game you expected to come through and just dropped after some time and effort? I think I might have a list of that actually. I can go take a look. There have been some video ideas that I've shelved, and I say shelved because there's very few I've outright dropped. But there are several that I've shelved, which means I think I'm interested in pursuing this later, just not right now. Knights of the Old Republic is always shelved because I really want to do that video, but it would take too long. What else? Outlast. I did a full playthrough of Outlast. Was super excited to do a video on it. Shelved. But I might do an Outlast video for Halloween or something. Maybe. We'll see. But that got shelved. What else? Advent Rising is probably shelved. I wrote out a huge script. Like, well, not huge, but okay, 4,000 words, and I was about halfway done, about the complicated canonicity of Star Wars. And I might still go back to that and release it. It's not video game related, but it's just me talking about the old Legends like tier list of canonicity and the Disney canon and stuff like that. So that's a shelved video idea that I still might go back to. I was playing Ace Combat 04 and 5 the other night. Okay, that's pretty cool. You don't mind if I advertise my streams on your Discord when I do the streams? I need to make a chat for that because I've gotten complaints in the past of non-me creators advertising their content in the Discord, because it really is just a Discord for me. And I've had people like message me and be like, "Hey, we don't want to see random, not random derogatory, but people they're not familiar with in a server for me." But the way I solved that last time in my previous server was I had a channel that was specifically for non-me content announcements. But the thing is, nobody looked at it. So you're free to when I make that channel, but I don't think anybody actually looked at it. So that's just how it is. I have to respect the people who are in my server as well, since I run it. Resident Evil 2 video, get ready for Requiem since next year it's going back to Raccoon City. Probably not. And I say that because, you guys know I work pretty closely with your favorite son in a lot of stuff. And he's currently doing a series on Resident Evil, and I don't really want to cross-contaminate that. Also, I don't think I have anything new to say about that. Like, if I did a Resident Evil video, I'd probably do one video, and it would be about Resident Evil 4, and that would be it. I actually like the Dark Empire and Yuuzhan Vong in concept, though. Maybe not in execution. Oh, dude, I love the Yuuzhan Vong. Dark Empire, I'm a little less familiar with that one, but I really like the Yuuzhan Vong. What else have I shelved? The Quake videos might end up getting shelved because they just didn't. The Quake 1 videos and that Quake 2 video did not end up performing, and those were easily the highest effort videos I've made. So, like the Quake 1 and 2 and expansion videos, those were the hardest videos probably. Maybe the Halo 2 video is up there, but they're such high effort videos. They take so much time. Because I wanted them to be like the best Quake retrospectives on the channel. And I kind of think they are, but they just weren't getting the views to warrant that kind of effort. So they might get shelved. We'll see. Complicated canon. You mean how Rogue Squadron 2 and X-Wing Alliance both have missions regarding the Corvette Razor? No, I wouldn't cover anything that in depth, but I would talk about the tiers. What's up, Pro Shop? Welcome to the chat. Hate the Vong. Stop caring about anything else in the EU once Mon Mothma died because the Vong. Dude, there's some really good stuff post Vong. Like the Vong stuff and the New Jedi Order stuff after Vong. It's all so good. You're missing out, brother. What else did I shelf? The Halo 3 video got shelved because you guys know I did Halo 1 and 2. Shelved Halo 3. At one time, a Metal Gear Solid 2 video was planned, but that didn't even start. I didn't even start on that. I shelved the video about Pyramid Head lore a long time ago, a couple of years ago. I had this really interesting idea for a video essay where I dive into what makes a 10 out of 10 game. I still want to do that, actually. I might do that soon. I might replace something else I shelved with that. I shelved the video series on the Syndicate games because... for a number of reasons. It's complicated, but I shelved those. I thought about doing a video on 10 hidden gems hiding on the PS2. I might still do that too. We'll see. I ran into some complications with getting some of the games to work, so. How could you shelve Halo 3, man? That's sacrilege. I still want to do it! It's another one of those, this would take too long. I plotted out, and I started on a script for Fear. I wanted to do the Fear trilogy. I shelved that. I shelved the breakdown, like the video game breakdown. Let's see. Never read all those books. I didn't like when Chewbacca died, and then I read the books of Jason Turned the Dark Side. That's also some cool stuff. Vaughn casually strolling to the galaxy, destroy like 30% of all life, and casually exit the canon. Hell yeah. That's a good villain. Oh, hey, welcome, Mr. Felix. What's up, man? I keep hoping that my gaming YouTubers will cover something unique. It's tough, though, because the pool of genuine undiscovered games seems a touch smaller niche. The problem, there's a lot of problems with that, because videos on undiscovered niche games are high risk, high reward, because a few of them pop off and do really well. But a lot more of them just don't get looked at. So, for instance, I did like a 50-something minute long video on Van Helsing for the PS2, and that's not really all that undiscovered. That's it is kind of a hidden gem, and that video fucking tanked, dude. That video did not do well. And again, the Manhunt video, stuff like that. So it's hard. But if I had my way, I would be focusing on unknown stuff. But it's probably, you have to balance it out with stuff that people are more familiar with. That's what turned me off. I didn't know how the sequel trilogy didn't turn me away either, though. My brain is weird. The sequel trilogy fucking turned me away immediately. I can't watch that. Legacy comic series with Kate Skywalker. Okay, that's kind of a guilty pleasure for me too. KOTOR comics. I never read the KOTOR comics, but I liked. I listened to an audiobook for 2 of them that I only got a little ways in, and then I stopped. I listened to about half of the Darth Bane book, and I stopped, and I listened to the entire Revan book, and I liked that. Popping to say happy sis live stream is not a crypto scam. Good to see you got the channel back. Parallax, good to have you in the stream. Yeah, that was rough. That was a rough week, brother. But yeah, I'm glad to have the stream back. That was insane. I shelved that was another video I shelved. I had this video, and I got a good ways into the script for that. I got over 2,000 words, but I had this video talking about the Snyderverse. I planned to do that video months ago and release it alongside the new Superman film. Clearly that didn't happen, so that's considered shelved now. Daikatana videos probably shelved. I started a little bit on a script to do a retrospective on Star Wars Heir to the Empire, like a novel retrospective. Maybe I'll still do that. I don't know. I gotta figure out how I would even do that, and I also don't think it would do very well, but we'll see. Should get a gaming PC, I would play more Star Wars The Old Republic. Steam Deck, yeah, that the Old Republic is a time sink, so you have to have the right equipment for that. The Battlefront games, I want to do those. That's not really considered shelved because I drafted up a template for it, but I didn't know when I was going to start it, so that's kind of just waiting. I would call that pre-production. Anything else? That's it. I mean, that's most. There's probably a couple I'm missing, but that's most of the shelved video ideas. Rise of the Skywalker could have been saved if the finale degenerated into a 3-way battle between Kylo's Empire, Palpatine Reborn, and the Rebels. I don't even think that would have saved it, dude. That movie was a mess. Did you like Superman? I thought it was great. I haven't seen it. It looks fine. It looks like a movie that's not meant for me. I do not like James Gunn. I don't think I've ever seen a James Gunn film that I liked. I do like Zack Snyder movies, but one of the Zack Snyder movies I didn't like was written by James Gunn. Dawn of the Dead, I think it was Dawn of the Dead. Zack Snyder directed that, James Gunn wrote it, and I didn't care for that movie. I don't like James Gunn. I don't like the way he writes. I don't like his humorous style of writing. So I haven't seen the new Superman flick. Maybe I'll watch it, but I'm not intending or expecting. Intending is not the right word. I'm not expecting to like it because I don't like James Gunn. Not as a person. I mean, I don't like his writing. So we'll see. It looks like a very hopeful, exciting, vanilla take on a Superman film, which is what fucking everybody wanted. So I'm very happy that they got their Superman now. I've never been a huge Superman guy. I liked it okay, which is probably why I liked the Man of Steel film. I watched that and I was like, oh, dude, I actually like this. This is really cool. What the hell? I thought I didn't like Superman. But then I found out Superman fans hated that film, and I was like, that makes sense. I'm not a Superman fan, so this was clearly, that's probably why I liked it. Star Wars canon just got away from me. Yeah, that's understandable. Still like the movie. Yeah, Rise of Skywalker is a mess. I didn't like the movie. Back when I was in high school, I read Timothy Zahn books, ended up being some of my favorite books, and I followed every novel released until I, Jedi. I liked I, Jedi. I haven't read it in probably over, maybe, not 2 decades, but a decade and a half, but I really liked I, Jedi when I read it. I like James Gunn when I thought he was a guy behind Saw movies. Didn't realize it was a different James. That's James Wan. Yeah, and I love the Saw films. And James Wan is only responsible for one of those Saw movies, though I hear he might be doing the next one. I don't know. They had Revan, Legion of the Sith, Eternal Troops. Disney knows they need Revan. Yeah, but you wouldn't know that unless you read it online. Theater with Scooby-Doo 2 and Monsters Unleashed. I'm not like a big Scooby guy. I'm into edgier media probably, I guess. Yeah, I'll throw these Lord of the Rings on the GBA randomizer. Night of 100 Frights. Well, when I was a kid, I really wanted that game, but I never got it, so I have no clue what it even looks like. Although an old roommate of mine really liked it. Yo, the Third Age got a GBA port? That is probably garbage. That's going on the randomizer. Going to Blumhouse and James Wan is now a big part of that studio. Okay, that's pretty cool. I don't know if you guys saw Saw 10. I watched it, and I actually kind of liked it. I thought it was fine. The only... Do not do a video on the Saw games. Not hidden gems, hidden dog shit. I did a video on the first Saw game. Actually, it was years ago, so it's older and not as high quality as my new videos. But I did a video on the first Saw game. Yeah, it sucked. I haven't played the second one, but I hear it's worse. That first game sucks. It was an ironic... I think the point I made at the end of the game was that playing the first Saw game is kind of great because it's like an ironic, unintended Saw trap in itself, where you have to beat the game, and it's brutal, and it's not fun, and it sucks. What would you have expected there? There's plenty of decent adaptation IPs. Platinum trophies and all achievements, that's it. Dude, I don't think so. I just trying to beat the first Saw game was like pulling teeth, no pun intended. That game is bad. That is not a good game. Gotta throw this one on there. The problem with Superman is he kind of breaks the DC universe. Where are the stakes when you can just call a demigod to go fix anything? Every time I watch anything in the DCU, I ask, why not get Superman to fix this? The animated films do a pretty good job of handling that. I think he has weaknesses and flaws in the newer iterations, like lightning and stuff, magic. But I've never been, like, the biggest Superman fan, so... They can make a good Saw game, like certain parts of Outlast and RE7 feel like Saw. Yeah, you're right. RE7 and Outlast both have kind of a Saw vibe to them. And I love both of those games. I also love the Saw movies. Was so good it had no right to be. Yeah, that's an example of a good adaptation. Original James Cameron Avatar game. A friend of mine was playing that on his YouTube channel the other day. Had to retcon those flaws in, though. Yeah. I like Saw for the soap opera of John Kramer's life. The Sawpera, if you will. Yeah, I mean, that's the appeal. Like, that's the part of it I did like. I didn't really care for the gore stuff. I didn't have a problem with it. It's just, like, that's not why I watched it. I really liked the John Kramer stuff and the whole ideology of growing people up through pain. There's a certain catharsis to it. Like in the 6th movie, Saw 6, the victim is a greedy, like, piece of shit insurance company CEO or something who, through his algorithm, decides who gets insurance coverage. You know how cathartic it is to watch that guy suffer? Like, that's just good stuff. That's a good movie. People, that's what Saw needs to be. We need a Saw series where it's just pricks, corpo pricks in suits getting tortured for being pieces of shit. The Lucas birthday trap could have been in a Saw movie. Lucas birthday? Oh, you mean from RE7? Yes. That, I mean, they clearly were inspired by Saw. I like how you analyze games in your reviews. I appreciate your channel went offline while I was watching, and then every 5 minutes I checked the note for updates. Thanks, Honest Noob. I appreciate it, man. It's funny that it went offline while you were watching. Yeah, that was the hack and everything, but I got it back now. Good to have you on the channel too, Honest Noob. I'm actually prepping right now for a pretty interesting new live stream idea that I'm going to start trying to bring in. The janitor smoked a cigarette and has to be put in a trap instead. I'm pretty sure that happened. Yeah, that was the 6th movie. He was like, this janitor doesn't care about his life. It's like, you couldn't have found somebody more deserving than someone who smokes. Although, if I remember correctly, he had cancer from smoking cigarettes and then gotten a lung transplant and continued to smoke cigarettes. So, like, it wasn't just that he smoked. It was that he had gotten cancer, been given a second chance, and spat on that second chance by continuing to smoke, which is kind of a shitty thing to do. I mean, someone's child, you know? The phenomenon of successful art being watered down by commercial interest, don't you think? That's... eventually, in some ways. But it kind of always was corporate interest. You have to be honest about that. The only reason that movie got made was because some producers read the script and saw the initial pitch film and were like, "This is money." You know what I mean? Like, you got to be careful how far you take that kind of like internal narrative, because every movie ever was made in part, most of the time in large part, by people who just wanted to make money back on it. That's the reality. Movie series, doesn't that mean look at the slashers from the 80s? Yeah, a lot of pretty much every movie ever was made by a bunch of producers who wanted to make some money. They just happened to try to find creators who were excited at the opportunity to be given a massive amount of money to do so. But they got to make their money back, or no sequels, or no more jobs for opportunities for that director, you know? That's the way it is. That they had the Friday the 13th series. Is that real? Were they embarrassed by that? That's pretty funny. What are my favorite YouTube channels? We did this on live stream the other night. I'll quickly run through it again. To donate a testicle for science. I'm sure someone would, but I'll hang on to mine. Thanks for asking. Let's take a look. I watch a lot of video game content, but I watch a lot of gym content. I'm big into fitness, so I watch a lot of gym tubers, but I also watch a lot of video game stuff. Civ 11, Totally Pointless TV, Manly Badass Hero, Summoning Salt. Those are the big ones. Jared Dines is a music YouTuber. I watch him. G-Man Lives, Sam Sulik, Hidden, Mayor Hair Bear, Flandrew. Star Wars Theories on there, obviously. Your Favorite Son. I'm subscribed to him. I watch his videos, of course. What kind of question is that? Which one? Do you ever worry about unintentionally plagiarizing other videos? I found myself using lines from videos I've seen unintentionally. No, not really. I don't really worry about that, but that's because if I accidentally plagiarize or take a line from somebody else who said something very similar about a game they're covering, both videos would be just explanation or review videos of a video game that somebody else created. So it's like, you know, And it's also super, super unlikely. The fact that I sit down and write out my own scripts, and I try to make it a point to make sure that I'm being genuine and just saying how I feel about the game and giving my honest opinion. So it's just so unlikely that I would verbatim, word for word, plagiarize someone else's video. It's not. If I ever do that, it'll probably be minimal. It'll be a minimal thing. It might happen, I guess. If it does, maybe I would cut the part out if they were like really pissed about it. But I would try to explain, like, look, obviously I didn't do that on purpose. It's just not very likely that would happen. Apparently they were embarrassed, which I could see that, but it was like, these things make bank and don't cost too much to produce, so we just can't. Yeah, that's funny that they'd be embarrassed by that, though. I think a lot of studios are embarrassed by their art. I think most of the people working on Star Wars since Disney bought it have been embarrassed to be working on it. If you don't watch Civi 11 and Accursed Farms, then you need to immediately. Of course, I'm looking at my YouTube subscriptions. Accursed Farm and Civi 11 are in there. I get that, but see how many leads in gaming, movies, even writers have a no sequel policy, but enough success can be a strong temptation to break that. Yes, true. I love the idea of doing. If I made movies, I'd want to make sequels and expand universes. I'm into that. Black Flag Matter with NASCAR stuff, where you're just reading off of Wikipedia pages. Okay, well, if I was just reading off of Wikipedia pages, that'd be different. Not saying you ever have, just something I'd imagine content creators deal with. I'm sure we do to a degree. It would be minimal, and if someone actually got mad about it, there was one time that something happened. I used some Jedi Outcast art for the thumbnail of my video, and I thought it was official art from the game, which I try to use official artwork from the game in question for my thumbnails. But it turns out I had accidentally, I think I did this on the Dark Forces 2 video as well, but I had accidentally used an art piece that an artist made, and he saw it. I didn't know. He saw it and he emailed me, and he was like pissed off. He was like, I'm sick of people using my artwork without permission, and something along the lines. And I ended up responding. I was like, whoa, I'm really sorry. I didn't know. I genuinely thought this was official art from the game. And he responded, and I think he had like calmed way down, because then he responded. He was like, hey, actually, I'm a fan of the game. Your video is actually really cool. You're clearly a fan of the game. And he gave me his permission to continue to use it from there. It's really good artwork. I double checked. I was like, just to be sure, you are fine with this. You are fine with me using it. And he said, yeah, you know what? Actually, this is cool. You're cool. You're good to go. And he gave me his consent. I didn't mean to, but that is a thing that happened. So in that regard, I am more finicky about what art I will use for my thumbnails from since then. But that is a thing that happened. Did the Bounty Hunter port end up being pretty good? Yeah, I thought it was great. I have the Jedi Outcast game guide. Hell yeah. With my Starfighter review, I used game footage from another guy. I asked ahead of time on that one, though. Is Bombad... Yeah, that's another thing. Is Bombad Racer canon? I'm pretty sure it is. Like, didn't we see footage of giant-headed characters in one of the movies? I'm kidding. Obviously, that game is not canon. It doesn't have a story. Have you ever done a review on that, by the way, Evan? No, I have not done a review on Bombad Racing yet. It's on a list. Like, I want to eventually do a video on every Star Wars game for the PS2, like I did for the PS1, the N64, and the GBA. We'll see what happens. There's a lot of games on the PS2, man. The PS2 DBZ video took me out, too. What else is there? The Bread Circus. I love their videos. I watch Luke Stevens from time to time. Going back to the the channels that I watch. A lot of gym channels. Dorian Yates. Noel Diesel. Yeah, you get it. Dizzy, what's up, my man? Welcome to the stream. I think I'll save those for later. Oh, that's cool. Wait, I'll save that. Why I haven't slapped on a Star Wars skin on Far Cry? Far Cry would be good for that. They are hard at work on that Starfield Star Wars mod, though. You know we got to put the Pirates of the Caribbean GBA games on the list. Oh, the Silent Hill play novel's on there. We gotta do that. I remember I played that game on my phone so many years ago when I was a teenager. I was like, is there a Silent Hill game on the phone store? I was trying to find a Silent Hill app. The fact that there was one in retrospect is incredible. I can't believe that was a real thing. Starcry? Well, you have Starcry. It's called Star Wars Outlaws. What, you guys didn't like that? Rebel Assault 2 being an interesting game as a kid. I thought the art was cool, like a mix of real and animated. Yeah, it was kind of cool that they did the whole live-action cutscenes. Dead Man Chess game on GBA, sold that one too, not worth much. Well, it's on the list of randomizer games. Man, I don't even know if the randomizer will let me put this many names on it. We gotta do the Rain of Fire game. We gotta get that on there. Also, I'm running under the assumption that I can easily find ROMs for all of these games, so... if we can't find one, might have to take it off the list. Force Unleashed had a PS2 version, not as good as the... yeah, I knew that had a PS2 version. Whenever I get around to doing that that game, I'm gonna have to kind of do a comparison. Do I have the Delta app? It's a badass emulator. Anything SNES to Game Boy? No, I don't have that. I do have a Game Boy emulator on my phone though. Racer Revenge, Bounty Hunter, Revenge of the Sith. I haven't done a video on Racer Revenge. Although I plan to at some point. I think I've got a pretty good mix of games that look terrible and games that look interesting. Talking about Nintendo systems, so emulation won't be controversial. Oh, no, it will be. Lord of the Rings Fellowship of the Ring, that's on the list. I'm done. You ever read the Killzone 3 book? The ending, Whiplash, is so hard. Destroys a whole civilization. He's already planning to take the ISA woman out. I think I mentioned that in my Killzone 3 video, right? No, you haven't asked that, but I think I mentioned that. I did not read the book, but I did see that was a thing when I was doing research on the book. Force Unleashed novelization was good. It's on Spotify. I've been meaning to get around and listen to it sometime. Generation ports, World at War Force Unleashed. Yeah, that's the good old days. They did a Cyber Chase GBA game? Damn. SD Gundam Force. Hell yeah. I remember that shit coming on Toonami and me being like, this sucks, where's Dragon Ball Z? Serious Sam Advanced already on there. Damn, there's a lot of Shin Megami Tensei games for the GBA. Sigma Star, gotta add that. Ghostbusters, the video game. I feel like I remember that. I never played it though. I don't think I've ever actually seen a Ghostbusters film. Knife Edge Nose Gunner on N64? No, but that sounds pretty cool. There's a Smuggler's Run GBA game too. How about that? Shows a bunch of good games released on GameCube and GBA. Any Zelda GBA game is good. I'm pretty sure people say most Zelda games in general are good. Minish Cap was good. I feel like I've heard of that before. Gotta put the Spider-Man games on there. We'll just put the non-film ones. We'll put the film ones in there. Fuck it. Gotta go. Night, y'all. Later, Akbar fan. Thanks for tuning in, brother. So when are we going to get you on Star Trek games? Dude, I've never really been that much of a Star Trek guy. My brother was the one between us who liked Star Trek. I wasn't crazy about it. Force on GBA? But I've already covered that in my Star Wars GBA video, so. Morning from Australia. How's your hemisphere going? What's up, Tac2? Not bad, not bad. We're hanging out. The new Droid Army is the best Star Wars GBA game, so let's just go ahead and put that out there. Oh, there's a Stuntman GBA game. We gotta do that. Iggy's Wrecking Balls to be Google image searched. I won't. What sort of impact that game had on me is Iggy's Wrecking Balls. I feel like every kid has that weird, obscure niche game that nobody else knows about that kind of impacted them. For me, it was Ball Breakers for the PS1, and also Codename Tinka, also for the PS1. I then went from The Good Apprentice of the Force to Terrible Flight of the Falcon. It was two different developers. Not much of a Star Trek person. What's your brother's favorite generation of Star Trek? He loves the classic. He was always about the classic. So he liked the classic series, and then he liked the classic Star Trek films. I don't think he liked the fourth or fifth one, but he liked the sixth one. I kind of liked the sixth one too, even as a kid. Not your cup of tea? Yeah, it's not mine either. And he really liked that spin-off series called Star Trek Enterprise. He said he really liked that one, but he didn't like any of the others. It's almost 10? Yeah. Mom. Okay, I read that already. Gotta get Superman Countdown to Apocalypse in there. Damn, they had a lot of TAC games for the GBA. Classic and Next Generation. My brother wasn't big on Next Generation. He couldn't get into that one. I don't really know why, because I didn't like Star Trek and I didn't care what his favorite ones were. Need to start Star Trek sometime. Well, I like to sit and binge watch stuff. She's not into sci-fi much though. X-Files doesn't really count as I mean, it is sci-fi, but it's also it's grounded enough to where it's not sci-fi to the point where it's not like Advent Rising levels of sci-fi. Damn, there's a lot of GBA games, guys. The best Star Trek game is Bridge Crew VR. Gotta keep pressing the red alert button. I've never played that one, but I heard that's the only good Star Trek game out there. Bro, I'm about to just call it on this list. I think I got enough. I can always come back. We'll throw Zone of the Enders on there, and we'll call it a list. Oh yeah, I forgot they released these GBA aftermarket games. That's funny. Vaguely recall Enterprise. My favorite is the one with Picard, but the droid babe from the 90s deserves a mention. I don't know anything about Star Trek, man. Only Star Trek game I had was Star Trek Invasion on the PS1. Don't know about that either. If you played Star Wars VR games, I've barely played any VR games, period. I played Resident Evil 4 VR, and it was awesome, but I don't have the kind of expendable funds to throw at a VR. Alright, guys, I have a list. Let's take a look at what it looks like when I do a randomizer. Voyager Elite? I wouldn't know. Let's see. Not as many as Star Wars, but yeah, Star Wars has some great games. Oh my gosh. Maybe we'll give one of these games a shot. We'll see. Okay. Alright guys, there it is. There's the wheel. Alright, so I'm probably on Wednesdays when I'm going to start the stream, the GBA randomizer stream. I mean, we'll probably start it tonight just to test run it. But probably what I'll do is I'll have rules on this, probably over there. No. Over there on that side of the screen. And the rules will be, I'll give the audience I'll give the audience a reroll. So every time we land on a game, I'll let people vote to decide if we reroll, and I will use this to decide how long we play. So when the game starts and I start playing, I'll flip this, and this is 15 minutes. When the 15 minutes is up, I'll run a vote and let the audience decide whether or not we continue playing or not. So we're going to test run it. You guys are going to be here first for the unofficial stream. Let's see what we get. Do I have to click to stop it, or will it stop on its own? Oh, okay, it stops on its own. Oh, it's nothing. Do I have a bunch of blank space? Why do I have all these empty... Why do I have all these empty things? That's odd. Hold up. I gotta take a look at this. Is it because it's uneven? Leaving it up to a randomizer, good luck. Yeah. These are all GBA games? Yes, they're all GBA games. So half the circle is empty. I'm trying to figure out why that is. Is it because there's not enough games? No, switch to advanced mode. I ain't trying to do all that. What the fuck? Why is it that way? Any thoughts on the Sega Saturn? Oh, what's up, Scott's Thinker? Good to see you. I've never played it, never owned it, don't know what it looks like, not even really sure what games are on it. Fairly Odd Parents Break Into Rules, played that game on GameCube. Yeah, I played it on a PS2 emulator for the first time because a friend wanted to see it. Why is the wheel so empty? Shouldn't it only be my... Okay, why is that? Why is that happening? You guys are seeing that, right? Why are there so many empty spots? Alright, hang on. Gonna have to... I guess let me switch to advanced. That's just lets me change the colors? Oh, no, this is what I wanted. Oh, that's good. Or maybe I need more colors. Influences in there. Yeah, it looks that way. Maybe I need more. Okay, 1, 2. Let's try with 5. No, let's do 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's do that. No, that didn't do anything. Can't have anything good these days. Okay, well now it's filled out. I don't know what I did different. Let me refresh, because I don't want to have to... Okay, now it worked. I just had to refresh the page. Alright, guys, I'm going to shuffle it. Here we go. It's for real this time. Rayman Advanced. Alright, I guess let's try it. Let me switch to here while I go perform some... Well, I'm quickly heading to the high seas. It's pretty fun. That's fun, right, guys? Actually, I can just play this in the browser? That is wild. Should I just do that? Nah, we'll do it the right way. Yellow skinned? Looks that way. This would be fun on Wednesday. Let's take a look. I'm getting it set up, fellas. Y'all are going to watch me play a little bit of Rayman Advance, but we're coming up to the end of the stream, so... Let's look. And my puppy dog is barking. Shadow! It's alright, buddy. Let's take a look, guys. I can't believe this is real. Here we go. On my Xbox controller. What is going on here? Once the valley, quiet and peaceful, Proton kept things in balance. Life was good, but it didn't last. Stole the Proton, scattered the... I don't want to read all this. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of dialogue. Okay, here we are, guys. Look at it. Here we are. Okay, so... Oh, okay, so got kind of a world thing going on. I don't really have an attack. It's just a platformer, I guess? That's kind of neat. I drowned. Yeah, Rayman Scott's thinker. I don't know why that's a functionality. On old PC, you can never beat it. Happy memories from playing the PS1. What, you didn't play Rayman on the Game Boy Advance? I guess that was the first level. You see, now when we're doing this on Wednesday, I'll have to play it for 15 minutes, and then we'll let the audience decide if I play another 15 minutes or not. Can I get the feeling I have to just avoid those guys. Platforming was tough. It's not too bad on the... Oh, never mind. It's tough. It's the game's fault, not mine. Music's kind of a bop. What is this? Do I interact with this guy? Oh, that's neat. What an odd little game. Absurdly tough in later levels. You've played this exact version, Scott? Your name is not Scott. It is, I forget. It's Scott's Thinker because you are Scottish. I forget what your actual name is. Okay, so the witch hurts you. Yeah. Clearly the paparazzi. Yeah, they're after Rayman. You guys remember when Adi Shankar made this guy the villain of his Far Cry series? Believe it or not, the sentence I just said is technically true. Oh, we got some plot. Punching this? It doesn't seem to be the case. Although I'm getting a new power, so... I can punch! Good timing on that question. The photo guy's a checkpoint? Oh, okay. Okay, so that's how I punch. Neat! Where do you punch? Do I have to go back to where I came? What does it want me to do? Do I have to get up there? Oh, I punched that thing down. Neat! With your fist. Love old game mentality. Yeah, this is fire, guys. Get out of here. Is this game misogynistic for letting you punch a witch, which is technically a woman? Oh, they can dodge. Look at this goofy goober ass game. Punch with the, oh, I read that already. Okay, that did something. We got some Rayman players in the chat giving me hints and tips and tricks. They call me Rayman. They all said I was crazy. Great stream. Thanks, Jedi Streamer. Alright, we did the first level. Alright, we'll probably call it there for tonight, but that's what you're probably in for on Wednesday night, the night after tomorrow, is a Game Boy Advance randomizer stream. So, if you've had fun here, you're going to want to tune in on Wednesday as we make our way through an eclectic variation of different Game Boy games, and you, the chat, will be interacting. You'll be able to decide if we continue playing a game or if we want to do a re-roll if you don't like the game that was picked. It's great. And I'm not taking this off the list, so we may end up back on Rayman. We'll see. Other than that, I guess we'll call it there and try to get some work done tonight, fellas. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I really appreciate you. First stream back. Technically second because we streamed for 7 minutes and my internet cut out. But first full, real, long stream back since losing my channel. It's not over. We're still here. Alright, thanks, guys. Talk to you later.